This call is now being recorded.
Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. I bet to our lecturer of AGR 272, which is Plantation's crop, Sir Azizu bin Sote. Today we are presenting about the written assignment, which is title of current developments of plantations crop in Malaysia that are included of four main crop, which is paddy, cocoa, pepper, and pineapple. Before we proceed to the presenting, I will introduce the group members of this group, which is first one, Nicholas Lajan anak Meling, second one, Wan Hazim bin Wan Mashho, third one, Adrian Adong anak Floren, and fourth one, Ahmad Syukri bin Korea. For the content outline, it will be separated until 6 parts, which is for the part 1, introductions, part 2, paddy, part 3, cocoa, part 4, pepper, part 5, pineapple, and part 6, conclusions. For the current situations of the plantations crop, there are four types of the main crop in Malaysia that should be focused on which is paddy, cocoa, pepper, and pineapple. Proceed to the Adrian Adong. Please open the mic.
Introduction. This written assignment, which is titled Study on Current Development of Plantation Crops in Malaysia, paddy, cocoa, pepper, and pineapple, are aiming to observing and improve our knowledge on the development of the chosen crops that had been stated earlier in the title. In this report, we had to choose in the progress on the studies cases, which is either development, situations, or technologies of the crops. We are discussing and choosing the current situations regarding to this type of crops, which is paddy, cocoa, pepper, and also pineapple, on collecting what the current status of these crops. The criteria that we had chosen are mostly the price of the crops, the problems that are faced by the crops, and also the population of the farmers or planters for each of the crops. Each of these information that we got and we choose are from the newspaper and also the article journal, in which it are to ensure the information are correct and trusted.
Salam sejahtera to Mr. Azizu and my fellow friends. And today I will proceed to present about the current situation of paddy in our country. As we all know, during the pandemic of COVID-19, there's a lot of sector and industries were affected due to the implementation of the Movement Control Order, MCO. There are also several action that was taken to help the paddy industry to survive. Recently, the government was announced that all activities that are related to paddy and rice industry can be operated for 24 hours at full capacity. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry said this was in line with the extension of the Movement Control Order MCO 3.0 period for another 2 weeks, effective June 15 to 28. This is important because the agriculture's activity are categorized as important services that need to be continued to ensure the paddy and the rice production activities are not affected during the MCO 3.0 periods, as well as maintain the country's rice stock is sufficient. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry also improving the standard operating procedure for the management of the paddy and rice industry that including paddy cultivation activities such as ploughing, harvesting of paddy, maintenance of paddy fields, and irrigation. In addition, the government also has been allocated RM 4.79 billion ringgit to Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry through the 2021 budget. This the objective of this is to assist the farmers in the difficult situation of the country facing COVID-19, especially in the paddy sector. Moreover, machinery services are also allowed to operate. Machinery operator at PPN Machinery have played a role by providing machinery services for harvesting paddy, ploughing, and leveling paddy land throughout the periods of the Movement Control Order MCO. Furthermore, the government also provided the subsidy for the farmer, such as there was RM 570 million has been channeled through the paddy price subsidy scheme SSSP to help increase the farmers' income and paddy production in our country. There is also an allocation of RM 960 million for the fertilizer subsidy scheme and paddy production and incentive, which aim to reduce the cost of paddy production as well as increase the competitiveness of paddy production through the provision of agriculture input such as fertilizer and pesticide. Apart from that, other subsidies such as the Paddy Bukit fertilizer subsidy, which is RM 40 million ringgit, also was reintroduced. Last but not least, the paddy industry in the Malaysia is still can survive even there's a lot of challenge that were faced during the pandemic. That's all from me and proceed to the next presenter.
For the next one, which is the cocoa crops. For the first one, which is the productions of the cocoa. The increasing pattern that making the positive news for the industry of cocoa in this state, which is around 150 until 160 tons, only can be produced a year before that compared to current productions, which is more than that, in which the conclusions of the insufficient area or the scale of the cocoa plantations are in the small scale on areas are affected the lower productions of the cocoa if comparing to the current year, which is in 2020. Around 6,000 until 7,000 hectares of areas are being used to cultivate the cocoa crop. For the second one, which is the populations of the cocoa farmer, or more likely known as cocoa entrepreneur. The populations of the farmer that are cultivating the crop of cocoa had been increased in about 14% are already following the programs for the training purposes compared to the previous record that are below than 10% depending to the statistic in the current situations, which is on 2020. For the third one, which is the export activities for the Malaysians regarding to the cocoa productions. The export activities on the chocolate productions had been increased starting 2015 until to the current year, which is on 2021, depending to the statement of the channel News Asia. The record of its export history is around RM 471 millions had been recorded in the 2015, while comparing to the 2016 and 2017, which is around 598 million and 868 million had been recorded. It is true showing the positive result for our country on the exporting related to the cocoa productions and cocoa crops. The positive result related to the value of exportations are related to the successes of the exporting to the 128 countries in the world, that one of it is including of the China, United States, Singapore, and also Indonesia. For the fourth one, which is the price of the cocoa in Malaysia. The price of the cocoa will be different from a year to another, and this can be one of the factors to attract the farmers to cultivate the cocoa crops, depending to the statistic from the International Cocoa Organization Secretariat of the World Bank. It shows varying price are recorded in the December 2016, which is the closing year of the 2016, in about RM 10 ringgit 26 cents, which while in 2017 it shows the negative result for the price of cocoa, which about RM 7 ringgit 83 cents. In 2018, the price of cocoa in December shows the price RM 9 ringgit 23 cents, which it a bit showing the positive curve in the price of the cocoa, and in 2019 the positive curve are continuously obtained, in which on the December it's showing about the RM 10 ringgit 30 cents. In the year of 2020, the decreasing price are repeatedly obtained, in which RM 9 ringgit 79 cents are succeeded to be recorded in the December compared to the previous year, and in 2021 it is showing about RM 9 ringgit 94 cents, in which observations of the positive result if comparing in between year. This shows the decreasing and increasing of the price of the crop, such as cocoa crops, are observed on the different year, and it can be unpredictable thing that should be focused on in the agricultural sectors. Uh, Next, proceed to the next presenter for the papers.
Okay, all right. In my part, I will present about current situation of paper crop. My first point is about challenges in upstream, which is higher farm costs. Information gathered from a fieldwork survey suggests that the cost of paper production in Malaysia remain high. In fact, it continues to increase gradually due to an increase in agriculture input costs, especially fertilizer, pesticide, and weedicide. In addition, the labor cost has also become the key component of the overall product cost. The alternative that government is working on to help reduce the cost of paper grow is to provide for the purchase of fertilizer, equipment, and weeding. Okay, the second point is low yield and unstable income. The average yield per hectare for paper in Malaysia is 23,780 tons of black paper and 6,794 tons of white paper in 2018. This is lower than the national target of 40,000 tons of black paper and 8,000 tons of white paper. Low yields stem from pest and disease problems which can occur at various stages of paper vine development. Important pests include the time bug, paper weevil, and cigarette beetle. Notably, the yield of the paper produced will also depend on the soil fertility. Unless there is a major breakthrough in paper cultivation by using innovation technology and effective research to combat paper-related disease, the Malaysian paper industry will face the great challenge of shrinking production. Okay. The third one is lack of interest among younger generation. The majority of the paper farmers are an again population who cultivate paper on their native customary right (NCR) land in Sarawak, while most of their children have sought better job opportunity outside the village. Most youth argue that employment outside the village tend to provide them with a steady monthly income compared with the unstable income caused by low productivity and a fluctuation market for most agricultural communities. They trend to perceive paper planting achieved as hard work and have regarded it as less glamorous economic activity. In addition, the government also conducts several campaigns to further introduce the benefit of paper to the younger and older generation and increase their perspective to the paper crop. Okay. My last point is high demand, low price for quality paper. According to the SPO, the board only buy clean and quality paper from the local farmer. In addition, farmers are advised to use and apply only those pesticides approved by the pesticide board. Prior to the further cleaning and processing, purchased paper is kept in clean warehouse. Based on the evidence presented, it was found that the board is working hard to ensure constant production of quality Sarawak paper, but customers may demand cheaper price as they compare Sarawak paper with the lower price of import paper from other paper production countries. For the industry to remain competitive in the marketplace while minimizing its price fluctuation, new distribution channel like big supermarket store, major distributor, and online marketing using e-commerce should be the key focus to drive the brand name of Sarawak paper forward globally. New market outlets should be explored both in domestic and international market to ensure the products stay close to customers worldwide. That's all from me. Let's proceed to another presenter.
Lastly is current situation of pineapple industry in Malaysia. My first point is status of the pineapple industry and research and development in Malaysia. The current technology for cultivation of pineapple on peat appears adequate, although the inability to mechanize on this type of soil is a severe disadvantage in the face of labor shortage and rise in other input costs. The current research thrusts are in development of new varieties with early bearing characteristics and high sugar for canning in natural use, agronomic practices on mineral soil, covering high density, taming of hormoning, fertilizer rates and applications, and management of mealybug, clostridivirus, red wilt. Research focus will also be given to post-harvest handling for export of fresh pineapples and in product development such as minimal processing. Next is less participation in MB2 pineapple farming. So the Malaysian Pineapple Industry Board, or MPIB, has called for more participation in the MD2 pineapple farming activities so as to increase and meet the rising demand. So far, our country production capacity is 400,000 metric tons with a value of over 500 million ringgit a year. However, it is still insufficient not only for MD2 international market but also for the local market. Third is the fruits cannot be sold due to movement control order or MCO. Uh, the fruits cannot be sold due to the MCO because the wholesaler did not come to take the fruits as usual due to a drop in demand in the market during MCO. Last one is lack use of technology for pineapple cultivation activities. The use of technology for pineapple cultivation activities is important to meeting the challenges of Industrial Revolution 4.0. The use of latest technology for pineapple cultivation is to increase agricultural efficiency. The use of latest technology will enable the producers to access data related to crop agronomy such as percentage of fertilizer content, soil pH humidity, temperature, and rainfall distribution to be obtained to determine the actual needs of the pineapples to grow. All data will be able to seen and evaluated easily through smartphone applications or tabs, wherever they are, to determine the real needs in the field. This way, the farm owners will be able to carry out the work on the farm by delegating it to their employees without having to be present at the farm.
Right. Conclusion. In conclusion, the situation of currently studied crops such as pepper, cocoa, rice, and pineapple has faced challenges, but there are opportunity and prospect to overcome these challenges. The government has also provided a lot of assistance and opportunity to these crop operators. The aim to increase crop yield and income to the operator of this crop. This can indirectly help revive our country economic sector affected by this pandemic. The financial allocation given to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry, that is MAFI, through the 2021 budget has reduced hard loss to the agriculture sector. Although our country is experiencing epidemic problem in the agriculture sector must remain operation to ensure the country food supply is always adequate. Alright, this is all the reference that we use. Okay. Failure does not mean the game is over, but try again with experience. That's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.